it's just way over. But the fact is that record sound is still something not to be forgotten. I won't
Correct.
say it is the best sound or it is superior to
Right,
any
right.
other source.
Yeah.
It's a good sound, and it should not be just this. This media should not be given up.
Welcome to Thought Bits with Ravi Iyer. Hello, and I hope you're doing fabulously well. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a very insightful conversation I had with a gentleman who's been around over 3 decades, connected with the hi fi system industry. His name is Grattan Vaz, and we spoke a lot about vinyls, which I'm very passionate about. I make it a point to listen to all my favorite music on my vinyl player every once a while. All right. So today in Thought Bits with Ravi Iyer, I'm going to be covering a topic which I'm very very close to. I'm very passionate about as well, and it's about vinyls. Yes, my friends, vinyl records, vinyl players, the vintage hi-fi systems, name it. And many times we do talk about vinyls and vinyl players and everything, but we may overlook a lot of factual uh, pros and cons about these players and these records. I'm going to be inviting a very special guest and a dear friend, and his name is Grattan Vaz, who's been in this industry since ages, and he's going to guide us and he's going to tell us a lot about uh, vinyls and give a good insight about the subject. I'd like to also tell you that on my website, I have my music stores where I have all my music releases in a 48 by 24 bit sample rate wave formats. It's uncompressed files. And please do check them out on my music store on my website, which is www.raviayerfusion.com. All
Okay,
right.
fine.
So welcome to Thought Bits with Ravi Iyer, Britain. Uh, this is
Thank
a
you.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show. And this is a radio podcast which I'm starting off with, where we discuss some very passionate and close topics to us and throw a lot of insight, on these topics. And what more? I mean, I could not think of anyone else other than you when it came to vinyls. And we're all passionate about vinyls, but somewhere down the line, I see that most of us are not really, we don't have that kind of knowledge about the subject. And though of course many listen to the music, but I think you'll be the best person to throw light on all this.
I can just tell you that vinyl is one of the oldest forms of
Uh, uh,
music,
yeah, yeah,
right? It's back to 47, 48.
right.
Uh, was invented by Peter Carl Goldmark,
Okay,
okay, who invented the first 33 1/3 record,
okay,
and he worked for Columbia, so
okay,
he developed it for them.
okay,
And it's after spool. I would say it's one of the oldest form of
okay.
media
Right.
for
So after
music.
after spool is what this came in with.
Basically, vinyls are cut from master recordings.
Right,
You see,
right,
master recordings that are made on spools,
right, right.
they are attached to a recording, they are attached to a head,
Okay.
okay, which vibrates according to electrical impulses from the
Hmm.
master recording, to
Okay.
which there's a stylus attached.
Hmm.
The stylus is linked to a cutting machine on which a lacquer is put,
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
The lacquer is rotated on the cutting machine and the stylus cuts into that. You see,
Okay.
forming grooves. That's how basically, that's one part of making a vinyl.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And later on, that
Uh,
lacquer is coated with metal,
okay.
either silver or nickel or whatever they
Okay.
prefer.
Okay.
And once it is separated from the lacquer,
Okay.
you get ridges, okay, instead
Right.
of grooves. So
Okay.
that's used as a stamping
Okay.
tool
Okay.
for the fresh vinyl. When you
Okay.
put a vinyl between the two stamping tools and
Uh-huh.
use a hydraulic press over it, you get
Right.
your records. It's
Okay.
it's got a certain charm to it.
Correct.
That's I won't
Correct.
say it's better or more accurate than a CD player,
Okay.
but it has its own advantages and
R-
disadvantages.
right. Right. So then
But
that.
it's not something that has to be, forgotten, I would say, because
Okay.
the sound from a very good vinyl is very difficult to beat.
Correct. Which is here to stay. I would say rather. Oh,
Yeah, I would still say it's one of the main forms of music media.
right. Right.
It's like one of the best sources of
Correct.
music.
Correct. True.
Yeah.
True. So, how now? I'd like to ask you a question. Now, you have a vinyl player, and you have your, the amplifier and the speakers which you hook up. Now, what happens is a lot
Yeah.
of people. To our listeners, and even I would like to know is how important
Mm.
is it to have a good amplifier and speaker that drive a good vinyl player, or is it depending on each other? How does it complement each other?
No, it's all are very important.
Right.
You have a good source, then you must have a good amplifier.
Right.
Okay. First, you need a very good phono preamp stage. If you do not have a phono stage,
Yeah.
you'll get very weak or very faint sound. And
Right.
if you do not have the right phono stage, also, that
Okay.
could have its.
Okay. Okay.
Like if you
So,
have a moving coil cartridge, then you have to have a phono stage with moving coil. If
right.
you have a moving magnet, then you must have a moving magnet. Now, it depends on what stylus you're using. If
So
you're
then,
using a moving magnet
right.
and you're using a moving coil, phono stage, it may not work. There again, it depends. I'm not saying one is better than the other.
I
So
see.
it's not that a moving coil is going to be superior. It
Oh,
depends. There are some very good moving magnets also,
oh,
which
I
are
see.
equally good, if not better.
Oh, I see. Okay. Is there a cost difference
Yeah,
between the moving coil
yeah. As,
and?
generally, they are more expensive. The moving coils are more expensive. So I would say if one were to invest in a vinyl player,
Uh-huh.
he should be prepared to spend a little bit, see,
Right.
and
Right.
not go for something that is really cheap. Because
Okay.
it sound as a see it's a physical media,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a lot to do with the physical construction of the vinyl
Okay.
player.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, nowadays new technology has developed new tone arms,
Mm-hmm.
better platters,
Right.
better isolation mechanisms.
Right. Right.
Instead of having the motor directly under the platter,
Right.
we have managed to isolate it.
Ah.
Okay, we're giving better mass and rigidity to the platter.
Okay.
We have a better plinth or a sub plinth so
Okay.
that the motor is isolated, independent.
Okay.
All these things help in reducing wow, flutter, rumble,
Right.
vibration.
Right. Right.
Okay, these are
Right.
very important things. That's why a good vinyl player is important.
So
And
who?
most of the time, setup is very important.
Sorry. Okay. So who sets up the tone arm balance and all the? I mean, the dealer from whom one buys, or is the user supposed to know all this?
It depends on what you buy.
Mm-hmm.
You get very good turntables that come plug and play. It depends on the user, how
Right.
familiar he is with a turntable.
Right.
Some styluses are very easy to be installed.
Right.
Okay, you just pull them out from the cartridge and slide them back on the new stylus. In
Right.
some cases, you can't. You have to
Ah.
remove the entire cartridge. You see, you have to remove it,
Okay.
unscrew it, and then
Okay.
refit the stylus. So then it takes a lot of experience.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
say it takes some experience. You got to be very delicate with it. I mean, the wires connected to the cartridge are very fine, very delicate.
Very
They're
delicate.
almost
Yes.
like single thread.
Yes. Yes.
So you can't, be rough with it. You pull out a wire, or you break
Right.
or snap a wire, you may have to change the whole tone arm wiring.
A simple question: what kind of maintenance kit do you suggest one should have?
You must have the solution,
Okay.
the oil,
Hmm.
motor oil. You must have stylus brushes. You must
Okay.
have record cleaning brushes or
Okay.
whatever. You
Okay.
get those special cleaners. Then you
Okay.
get specialized cleaners, motorized cleaners, or vacuum cleaners that can
Okay.
actually suck all the dirt and static from the records.
Right.
You can
Right.
use those.
Right.
So all these things are available,
Are they
and they're
available?
good. You must
Okay.
maintain them. They're
Okay.
good for maintenance of the records.
Okay. But are they freely available now? One can order it and.
Oh, everything is available. I would say if you are serious about your listening and your records,
Right.
I would not recommend borrowing LND.
Oh, is that so?
Using a record on different machines with different cartridges or styluses is not going to be good for the life of the record. It's going
Okay.
to ruin the record over
Uh-huh.
a period of time, and you're not going to get the same quality back. You lend it
Okay.
to somebody, he's going to lend it to somebody else.
Okay.
So that record is put under different machines with different cartridges, different styluses cutting into the record.
Right.
You're not going to get the same quality once you get your record back.
Oh, I
I
see.
don't think so.
Oh,
No.
so
So I'm
because.
not in favor of lending. Today, the records and the pressings are much better. Much
Okay.
better.
Okay. Okay. So, if today, see, I mean, I'm a musician, and we're all musicians performing and doing a lot of things and a lot of composing, and we keep releasing our materials. So, do you see a good future if we artists could press our albums and our releases on LPs?
Yeah, I think it is viable. I think artists got to go back to that.
All right, Grattan, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
let's continue this conversation in your music store. What say? We'd like to fix up a day where I would love to come to your stores, and
Sure, sure. Most
yeah,
welcome
we could
to
definitely
drop by.
continue our conversation there with all your masterpieces that's available over there.
Yeah,
All
most
right,
welcome.
yeah, all right,
Lovely.
Grattan. Thank you so much,
Thank you
and
too.
bye
Bye.
bye, bye bye. Thank you so much. Bye bye. That was all about vinyls. Hope you enjoyed our conversation. Do leave your comments and feedback on this link. See you next time with another thought bit with Ravi Iyer.